might have to try again. For some reason, I don't see you in the chat. Oh no, we are live. Right, welcome everyone. Laurie, hi Catherine, hi Jenny, hi Cynthia. What? There's gonna be a few drops. Thank you, Jenny. Like the t-shirt, nice. £2, charity shop. Hi Claire, welcome, nice to see you here. Welcome Roxanne. So we've got 1 minute to go. Oh, I think we can see my birthmark. It's only when I get a bit tanned, you can see that I've got a spot here in a past life. I welcome. As usual, you've got the chat, feel free to use it. Ask me any questions you might have. If I've missed any of your questions, don't be shy, ask again, because sometimes the chat goes a bit too quick for me. And today, well, let me show you what the building was. I'll show you. Hi, letter G. 10 points. If you can tell me, is it buffering? Is it buffering for everybody else, or is it... Any guesses? It's going on and off. Okay, well, let's try to connect. Are we back? Is it any better now? Can you... Oh, it's better. Okay, good, good. Right. If you guys have tried to guess, I've missed it. So can any of you try to guess what this building have been in the past? Just what it is, but I'm just gonna try to get completely... Oh, is it better now? Good. I'm gonna try not to say anything too interesting until everyone tells me it's better. You care to guess what this building might have been in the past? the Crimean War in the and they have a little church as well, Barbara, for the girls to go to school. So not a prison, Diane, not quite yet, but we'll see a prison in a moment. So is it much better now? Are we all back with signal? I think we've lost a few people, but hopefully it's gonna be much better. So yeah, it was built as an orphanage through the Crimean War in the 1850s. A lot of young kids lost their dads in the army, you know, whether they were sailors or... And there was a fund, a charity fund that was created to help those kids. Much better, good. So it probably was those heavy funds. Queen Victoria herself was involved. Even some of the kids, Queen Victoria's kids, they sold some of their artwork to generate some money. And then they created that orphanage for girls. It was at the time, hard life. The girls were shaved their heads to avoid the lice. So, you know, that probably was quite a shock as well. And they had to do very, very hard work as well. That was not unusual in Victorian times. You know, even at the workhouses, the kids had to work. Yeah, an orphanage. Yeah, Barbara. And through the First World War, they kicked the girls out because they wanted to use the building as a hospital for the wounded soldiers. So, and a lot of soldiers, of course, did not survive. And I'll show you in a moment where they were buried. We're heading to a cemetery as well. So we are in Wandsworth, by the way, because on the Monopoly board, I ended up on the jail. So we are heading to see Wandsworth prison. And so yeah, through the First World War, it was a hospital. Then after the war, the girls came back. And through the Second World War, the girls had to go again because they decided to make the building some kind of an interrogation building for every single refugee or every single migrant that came from any occupied country. So about 33 of them in total came through the building. Even future SEO agents, even diplomats, everyone coming from an occupied country would have to get in there to be interrogated. And they did catch a few spies. So it was run mainly by the MI5, the military intelligence number 5, the spies. And quite a few were caught. One of them, for example, he came from Belgium. His name was Alphonse Louis Timberman. They didn't really have much reasons to suspect him, but in his belongings they found some orange little sticks, like the kind of sticks that a lady would use for her fingernails to push back the cuticles on the nail. On its own, it's not a dangerous item, right? But they also found some cotton wool and some pyramidon powder. And those three together, you can actually use them for invisible ink. So they did interrogate him. Eventually, he confessed of spying for Germany, and he was hanged at Wandsworth prison in 1942. So that's where we're heading to next, Wandsworth prison. So and then after the war, it became a school again, not really an orphanage anymore, a normal school. Then it fell into disrepair. They wanted to knock it down, but some Victorian enthusiasts wanted to save it, and eventually they made it a Grade 2 listed building. It used to be called the Royal Victorian Patriotic Asylum, but because people assumed an asylum was for people with mental health issues, they renamed it the Royal Victorian Patriotic Building. Today you've got a French restaurant inside, quite fancy. You've got a drama school and some apartments. And that's what I wanted to tell you about, the apartments, in a place that is very haunted. I'll tell you about the ghost in a moment. I've just found a 5-bedroom flat. Let me show you the photos before you try to guess, because it's quite big. So it's in the building we've just seen, in the former orphanage. How much would you pay for a big 5-bedroom flat to buy? So very, very spacious, as you can see. How much would you pay? Bear in mind the place is haunted with girls that used to be shaven. There's a few ghosts, one of them in particular. 75 million. It's not the full building, it's just an apartment, just one large apartment. 2.5 million, 3.3 millions. Does the hunting increase the value? Tish is asking. Well, I would assume it might decrease it, but who knows? Some people might like it. 25 million, say Carol. We are not actually that high. Let me show you. Where is the 1.7 million? So it's not not that bad. Wandsworth is quite a posh area. Well, depending which part of Wandsworth, but around here it can be quite wealthy. So yeah, not bad considering the space. I mean, it is very, very big, but it's probably because of its ghost. They have, well, quite a few. Some people have claimed over the years that they heard voices all across the building in German. There's a lot of rumors about stuff that might have happened in the building. Some say that 6 German spies have been shot and buried under the little pond there. No evidence of that, but it is possible. There's just no record. And there's there's the case of Charlotte Jane Bennett. She was a young girl that was here at the orphanage. She was 17, so she was old enough to go and work as a servant. And she had been locked, punished, into the bathroom of the superintendent because of insubordination. I don't know exactly what she did, but according to their website, there might have been some sexual assault as well by the rector. But anyway, let's not go down there. I didn't dive too much into it because, yeah. So she was locked in there for 2 days, punished, and let me squeeze through. And she was given some matches to light up a gas lamp. Well, a moment later, some of the girls heard some screaming, and she died. They concluded accidental death. She burned to death. Emily, and since that day, quite a few people have complained that they've seen the ghost of a girl wearing a Victorian dress. And there's quite a few accounts. The thing is, because there's a drama school at the moment, some of the sightings first, they saw a girl in a costume, so they believed she was an actress, you know, practicing their play in a Victorian period play or whatever. And then when she vanished into thin air, well, they realized it was not an actress. So yeah, the building might be haunted, so that could maybe. The area, oh yes, it's not posh everywhere. Around here you'll see it's quite posh, but I used to live in Wandsworth myself, not really here. I was closer to Clapham Junction, and it really wasn't too pricey. Actually, you'll see, well, I shouldn't tell you because I want you to guess, but here the flats are going to be very expensive, and well, we'll end up around Earthfield, and it will already be much cheaper. Actually, some of the flats I found for you, because I looked them up 2 weeks ago because I went on a holiday, some of them are already sold. So I guess they were a good price. So yeah, it's amazing though that building was saved despite all its dark history. Anyway, let's go into the residential bit. So this was Wandsworth Common, the park. Lovely park. And now those beautiful houses here. I think most of them are Edwardian because I saw the date on one of them. I think it was 1903. Right to the back there, we're not gonna go all the way, but there's a blue plaque. There was a prime minister that lived here, David Lloyd George. He was the prime minister through the First World War. And I think he had a big influence on the National Insurance Act as well. So the healthcare. So those beautiful houses, you'll see they're quite expensive. And I have been in every single gardens. I might have mentioned to some of you when COVID hit with the lockdowns, I obviously lost my job as a tour guide. So I took a job as a flyer girl, putting flyers in mailboxes. Very hard job, especially when you've got those Victorian houses with a basement level. And I did cover this area quite a few times. They have beautiful doorways, but there's a lot of no junk mail. Although most of the time we don't care. If you live in the UK and you don't want to get any junk in your mailbox, there's absolutely no point adding a sticker that says no junk mail. Because legally, there's no definition of junk. So I can say, no, it's a flyer, it's a 20% off Uber Eats or whatever. It's great, it's no junk. If you do not want any advertising in your mailbox, you need to put a sticker that says only addressed mail, no publicity whatsoever, only addressed mail. Because no junk mail, depending on the client, we'll put them through anyway. Because legally we can. Well, I say we. I'm not in that industry anymore. I left fairly quickly because it was under minimum wage and very, very hard, under the rain, under any weather. Hi, Barry. Welcome. Anyway, I've got a house for you on this street here. It is, I think it's a 4-bedroom. 5 bedroom, maybe 5 bedrooms, and it is to rent. How much would you spend to rent a beautiful 5 bedroom on this street? Let me show you the photo. Where is it? Just looking for the photo. That's the one. Hold on. It's going to be easier to focus like this. There we go. So 5 bedroom to rent. How much would you spend? 2,000 a week? Oh, Sean, you know what? You actually, I need to do the math, but you spot on. Tell me monthly, but I think you actually, you nearly spot on. Let me find the house, it's a bit further down. Yeah, it is very expensive over here. And that's the one there. Let me see. Yes, it's this one here, and I think it's been it might have been sold as well, because last time I came here they were doing some kind of refurbishment already. So let me show you the answer. $950 a month. So I think, Sean, that's that's 2,000 a week, I think, approximately. So yeah, 9,050. You love this game? Good. Yeah, it's a beautiful one, and it looks quite big as well, with a lovely garden. But yeah, I don't know what jobs people do to be able to pay $10,000 a month. Well, they might have a lodger, you never know. You've got 5 bedrooms, so you can actually rent 3 bedrooms. Who knows? Anyway, we're heading towards Wandsworth prison. So we might have spoken in my tours about some people that have been locked or locked in, or either killed, executed at Wandsworth prison, because once they're finished with public executions outside, they were then executed inside of the prisons. And drug dealers, yes, maybe, Sean, probably. Maybe not all of them, because we'll have a lot of drugs. Well, actually, if you are a drug dealer here, if you have a way to get into the prison, that's probably a good deal, because there's I've watched a documentary about Wandsworth prison, and apparently there's a lot of drugs inside, and the prison officers, they're really struggling, because there's a lot of violence, and some of the prisoners have mental health issues, and then they take spice. Spice, it's like a crazy strong form of cannabis, I think. And so yeah, if you have a way to get your gear inside of the prison, I think you can probably then afford one of those amazing properties. George Rex. So that is George the Fifth. Isn't Wandsworth the prison? Jamie, who's Jamie? Emily? Hi, Gerard. Who's Jamie? We had one escape, but not sure who Jamie is. Oh, I've never watched Outlander. Sorry. Yeah, I've literally never actually watched one episode, but maybe. I'm 5 minutes from your mum's house, Gerard. Tell her to come on photobomb. Right, let's cross over. I did myself nearly move here about 10 years ago, and I kid you not, I came to visit. It was $500 a month for a bedroom in a flat share. At the time I was living on Wandsworth Road, so not too far, and I wanted to stay in the area. And it was right by the prison. The bedroom looked lovely, painted in yellow, very bright. And I opened the bedroom, right? Lovely big window, and I looked through the window. I could see the prison courtyard. And I asked the host, I was like, well, hold on, am I looking at the prison courtyard there? And she's like, yeah. And actually, you know what, I didn't take it. I wouldn't have minded the view. The thing is, there's no night buses here. And I was a bit of a party animal. That was like 10 years ago. So, you know, if I had to walk 20 minutes from Clapham Junction or anywhere with the number 87 to then find myself a bit tipsy walking at night by the prison, I thought, now I might as well move to an area with a night bus. You set an alarm. I should try one episode, see if I get hooked, but I've just never watched it. She's just off Magdalen Road. Okay, well, we'll go down Magdalen Road, actually. So yeah, just tell her to come and say hello. So there we go. We are now at the prison. So Wandsworth prison was opened in Victorian time in 1851. At the time, the prison had not quite been nationalized yet. I think it's 1876 when they were really nationalized. So it's a Victorian prison with 5 wings inside. The design was copied from Pentonville prison, but Pentonville actually copied it from a prison in Philadelphia, I believe. So that's not it's not a British design. So we had quite a few famous residents in there, but I'll tell you as we go because I want to get into the cemetery before it closes. So yeah, we've got a few of them we spoke about in my tours. Some of you might have been with me in Eastbourne a couple of weeks ago. The 3 Crumbles murderers, they were hanged in there. Some of you might have seen my tour about the Southwark wife poisoner, George Chapman, very good Jack the Ripper suspect. He was also hanged in there. If you've not seen that tour, I've just scheduled it again for Monday. So that's a gentleman that was poisoning his wives. Oh, you'd love bringing your students. Oh, good. So yeah, Chapman, for the ones that don't know, he poisoned 3 of his wives with tartar emetic, a poison that you can dissolve in water or alcohol. And we've got some reason to believe he might have been Jack the Ripper. So Jack the Ripper might have been killed in here. There's no evidence, he's just another good suspect, but he was indeed a murderer. He was young and from Poland, so he would have fit the description of some of the eyewitnesses. He moved to New Jersey when the murder stopped in London, and there were some copycats in New Jersey. Frederick Aberline, actually, he strongly believed that it might have been Chapman. Who knows? Anyway, I'll tell you a bit more about him on Monday. It's done that, I was just telling you earlier that I visited the flat here and I had a view on the courtyard. I believe, I'm not showing you the exact one because I'm not sure. I walked around the area the other day to find it. It's down that road somewhere. I don't know if it's the one there on the right or the one at the very back there. It was a 3-story building. But yeah, I did not take it. And that's when I ended up in Clapham Junction instead. Much better. And so yeah, we've got some famous cases. The prison itself also has a ghost. I don't think there's been any recent sightings, but there's been quite a few complaints of people that see a lady with a grey outfit. She's known as the grey ghost or Grey Amy. Some people even believe it might be Kate Webster. Who knows? I mean, considering the amount of drugs in the prison, I'm not surprised people see ghosts. But yeah, apparently though, it's really hard for the prison officers. There's just not enough of them, and they're really struggling with the with the violence in there. There's a BBC documentary that was filmed in there a few years ago. Yeah, it seems like quite a hard job, really. And so yeah, Kate, some of you might have heard of her. She was originally from Ireland, and she had been into well, she had been stealing from people from a young age. She had already been locked in here at the prison. At the moment, it's only a male prison. It's category B, so quite dangerous criminals. But in Victorian times, they were ladies as well for about 30 years. Only one of them was hanged, though. That is Kate. What happened is in 1878 or 79, the hanging was 79. They found in the river in Barnes. Barnes is a lovely area on the riverside, not too far from here. I might take you there one day. They found a box, and the guy that found it, he looked at it from the distance. He believed it might have been from a burglary, so he grabbed the box to open it, and inside he found a lot of would I rather be a postal worker or a prison guard? Well, you know what, Emily, I Googled, I considered it through COVID, because I was in tourism. I used to work at the British Museum. The British Museum closed 2 weeks before lockdown, so I knew I was gonna lose all my job, you know. And I considered becoming a prison guard, but it seemed like it was a heavy, you know, training and everything, and I knew I would only do it for a few months, so I never actually applied. But I think, to get back to your question, I think I would say prison guard rather than postal worker, because postal worker can be a very lonely job, I guess. It's, you know, it's you on your own, with the dogs. I'm scared of dogs as well. Not every dogs, but you know, there's a technique to put something through a letterbox without getting bitten by dogs. So yeah, I think I'm more scared of the dogs than the prison inmates. Anyway, let's get back to Kate. So they found, so the guy is looking into the river. He found this a box. He opened the box. It was full of meat. Every little piece of meat and bones were packaged in different wrapping paper, and he couldn't quite recognize which animal it came from. So he decided to tell the police. They looked it up, and they were quite quickly surprised that it was body parts. Almost a full body. It was missing a foot on the head, so to avoid identification, and it looked like the flesh and the bones had been boiled. So that was very suspicious. It got dubbed as the barn mystery. And well, they fairly quickly found out what happened, because Kate used to work as a servant. She got hired by a lady in Richmond, Julia Thomas, and she was annoyed with her employer, Mrs. Thomas, that kept telling her off. And she, well, we don't really know whether she quitted or she was sacked. Officially she quitted, but we knew that Janie, well, it's about to get worse, because you'll see Kate, she was the original, the real Sweeney Todd. It's about to get worse. So she worked for that lady. That lady annoyed her. She quitted, but she stayed until the end of the month. By the end of the month, she didn't really have another job, so she asked if she could stay another 2 days. And the lady clearly was scared of Kate, because she had asked people to come and sleep at home because she was a bit worried, but she was alone with Kate that weekend. She found Kate going to the pub in the corner, so she came home very drunk. They had a quarrel, and what happened is Kate pushed Mrs. Thomas down the stairs. She killed her, and then she panicked, or that's what she said at least. She dismembered her employer. She boiled the bones. Then, according to some, she cut off the fat put it into jars, and she tried to go down to the pub to sell those pork drippings. We do not know if that's true. They said she tried to sell them at the pub as well as kids on the streets. So that we don't know. But what we do know is that when the police finally came to the flat, they did find some jars of human fat. So that probably is true. Then she sold everything in the house. She made about 50 pounds. She hired some removal though. And the lady next door, she never liked Kate anyway. She was a bit worried and concerned because Mrs. Thomas always went to church. She never missed church really. And when the removal guy came, the neighbor, she asked, who hired you? And the removal guy, he pointed to Kate saying, Mrs. Thomas. So Kate, by then, she knew that she had to cut her losses and flee. But before that, she had hired another porter to take a big box on the other side of the bridge, Richmond Bridge. And apparently, she told the guy, "Oh, you cross over. I'm just gonna meet someone. I'll sell him the box." So the young man crossed over, and he heard a ploof, and he recognized the box. So not only did she dispose of the body, it with her in a black bag to Hammersmith to a tea party. And apparently then she escaped the party for a couple of hours, and there was a young man that said, "Oh, I'll help you with your big bag." No, don't worry. She came to the pub here where she was seen with a bag, and then she had no bags anymore. That was it. And eventually, so what happened is she ran away. She ran back to Ireland where she was from. But she made a big mistake because she left quite quickly. She left at home in Mrs. Thomas's place a letter that she had sent to her uncle back in Ireland. Confessed, she first it wasn't her. Eventually, when she ladies, so you'd win a few months of life before they realized that at Wandsworth prison where we were earlier. He was doing some work in his back garden to expand his terrace. And guess what they found? A skull. A cemetery, deer's grave. And it's not a very well-known cemetery. They don't even have Wikipedia. It's older, a little bit odd, really. And so they decided to go down to his workshop. He had a workshop in Crawley, that's next to Gatwick in Surrey, and not in Surrey, in Sussex, I think it is. And is the weather humid? Yes, I think he was pretending to do some experimental stuff, a passport and ration cards from people that they didn't know about. They didn't even. They found a receipt from a dry cleaning for a jacket that belonged to the missing lady. Then they found some weird greasy material in which there was a human gallbladder stone. And then they realized what had happened there. He had dissolved bodies into acid. What are the chances of one getting out of Broadmoor? Broadmoor, for the ones that don't know, it is an asylum, a prison for people with very strong mental health issues. So clearly, he was already gonna pretend to have mental health issues, and he also pretended to be a vampire. He claimed that he was drinking their blood and that he had this urgent craving for blood, and that's why he killed. He confessed to 9 murders, but only evidence of 6 were found. Did he make up the 3 others, or did they really happen? A vampire, Janie, or at least that's what he claimed. He claimed that he had been traumatized when he was a kid by his mother licking his wound on his finger. in his defense, he did come from quite an odd family. He had his parents were into a sect, and he had a strangely overly religious upbringing. He was convinced his dad was the devil because he had a scar on his forehead, and his mum was an angel. But he was seen by quite a few psychiatrists, and they did not find that he was unwell enough. They were does it, but he him and the two ladies. They probably made it a little bit quicker, and when those guys died, they cashed in the money, and what happened next is that the accomplice was a little bit too greedy. He was blackmailing the lawyer and the ladies, thank you, to get more money. And eventually the lawyer, Maître Sarré, decided to eliminate him and his mistress. And then he, oh, is it buffer? Gets better. Is it a, let me know if you can hear me fine now, or if it's still. Where were we in the story when it kept buffering? Just let me know if you've missed anything. I'm happy to go back. Oh, it's really bad. I don't know what's up here because I was under the signal was quite good. I did call it's quite hard to test the signal now that Hego. Oh. So yeah, so if that's where it cut, so yeah, so yeah, John believed that he has been inspired French criminal because he was in prison. Scam. He had two mistresses. They were sisters, German ladies. He married them to two older gentlemen, and those two gentlemen, and he had an accomplice to do the medical appointment for the life insurance. So a healthy guy went to the appointment. So then they had the insurance, and then we believe he helped those two guys to die. So then they could cash in the life insurance. So that worked, no problem. Started to blackmail the lawyer and his two mistresses. He wanted more money. The lawyer, Maître Sarré, did not want to pay more, so he eliminated his accomplice and his mistress, and he dissolved their bodies into acid. So that's a way, because she couldn't be seen in Marseille and Aix-en-Provence. Sadly, she came back. Well, sadly, and she was recognized, and she told the police about the lawyer. Are you guys still here? Is it still bad? But I can't on this. If any. I don't know if you can hear me, guys, but there's another one right here to rent. Oh, is it? If it's really bad, I should probably stop it here because there's no point if it's that bad. Oh, that's a shame. Can you guys still hear me? I don't know. Oh, is it good now, Janie? I just don't understand what's happening. Okay, so you can hear me, but that's odd. Usually with Streamlab it's the other way around. Usually it's the sound that goes buffering and the image that is okay. Well, anyway, that little house was a 2-bedroom flat. How much would you pay for a 2-bedroom flat here to rent monthly? 2-bedroom. Well, there's no point for me to show you the photos if you cannot see anything. But yeah, the little house. At the moment, Oh, that's just disappointed because it's so much work to prepare a tour. And oh, I can see some guesses now. Okay. 1,900. Oh, well done, Tish, as well. I'll show you the answer. There we go. 1,900. So you guys are getting really good at this. Right. Let's go image. There's well, frustrating. I don't understand how it's possible because I did call someone on a video call last time I was, and I get a little. I give you a 4-bedroom. Right. Is it any good now? Can you hear me now? Oh, I think there's someone in there. Right, I'm gonna have to skip that one, guys, because the lady is at the door. So I don't want to get told off because people might be like, "What do you want? Why are you filming my house?" So we're just gonna skip that one and go straight to the next one. It's not my lucky day today, so let's go straight to the next one. We have one more on this street here, and that next one has just been sold. When I came here 2 weeks ago, it was still on the market. It has been sold, so it must be a good one. I'm guessing the signal is really bad because I'm getting your reactions, but with a lot of delay. So that probably means that you can still hear me. So the next one is a 4-bedroom flat for sales. Well, it's been sold. And yeah, it's gone. I'll show you the photos. I don't know whether you can actually see much of them, but let's try. Where is my photo? Bedroom for sales. 4-bedroom. How much? You can probably see it has been sold. I think your guesses are coming with a bit of a delay. 700,000, says Jenny. Jenny, you're not far off. You're not far off. It's a little bit more. Any more guesses? I'm sure some of you have guessed, but oh yeah, they're all popping up now. 750. Oh, Katie, that one is for sales. That one is not to rent. Well, it's a Tish, you're getting good at this. 875K. Let me show you the answer. 875. So well done. Let me show you here. There we go. So that was the one. And let's go down to the main street. So at the moment, we're still in the borough of Wandsworth, but we are in Earthfield. The borough of Wandsworth, by the way, I don't know if it's still the case, but when I lived here, it was the borough in London with the cheaper council taxes. So the council taxes, it's the local taxes that you have to pay for when you have a house or a flat. It's probably still the case, I don't know, but yeah, a few years ago it was the cheapest. Right, let's go down to the main road so you can see, because it's quite cool. Usually with those Monopoly tours, I take you to central London on very busy and very central streets. So it's quite cool to be able to show you an area where people really live, you know. Not that people don't live in central, but, you know, this is much more residential. My GP is still around here because I never go to the doctor anyway, so I never changed it. Although I've left the borough at least 5 years ago now, but yeah. Correct. Oh, it's still. Is it still the cheapest? Good. And it's quite. It's quite central because from Earthfield you can take a train to Waterloo, and you'd be in Waterloo in 15 minutes. So it's quite good. And my bicycle is still here, so that's a good sign. So let me go to show you a last. Okay, so we've got here a two-bedroom to buy, a two-bedroom on the market to buy. Let me show you the photos. There you go. How much would you pay for a two-bedroom? It is number 601, so it's the one right up here. I don't see any guesses yet. 975, says Jenny. It is far less. 250, says Michelle, a bit more. Tish, a little bit less. Well, I'll show you the answer. It was 465. So see, not too bad. And well, you know what, if the signal is good, I've got one more, so let's go and do the last one. If you can hear me and see me here, let's do the last one. Why not? I hope the signal is better. Letterbox, and this one is Victoria Regina, VR. So that's the Royal Cipher. So the last apartment, it's gonna be a one-bedroom flat to buy. On the bear in mind, this is like it's the high street, you know, of Earthfield, so it can be a little bit noisy at night. And let me show you the photos. So it's right up here above the cafe. I'm not sure whether it's the first floor or the second floor. How much would you pay to buy a one bedroom? Let me show you the photos. So that's to buy one bedroom. Let me know. $595, Janie? No, it's a one bedroom, so it should technically be a little bit cheaper than the last one that was two bedroom. Tish, you know what? You're getting really good at this. It's not $385, but it is $375. So yeah, well done, Tish. That's nearly spot on. So yeah, that's I think that's probably the cheapest we've looked at since doing those Monopoly games. We did, I think when we did the public car park where I took you to Peckham, we did have some flats that were 400,000. So I think that's officially the cheapest we've looked at so far. Yeah, well done, Tish. That was you've been quite spot on all night. Let me. That's gonna be the end of the tour, but I'm gonna take a left here to say bye in a quieter area. Let me know if you have any questions, of course. And sorry about the signal issue. Well, it is as frustrating for me that it is for you. And in the cemetery, I didn't know, because, you know, I had lost a lot of people suddenly, and I was like, oh, what's happening? Is my story boring, or is it too gore? So I was getting worried, but no one said anything, so I didn't realize it was the signal. Yes, Sarah, that's Garrett Lane. Yeah. You must know the area quite well. Wild guesses, well, they were quite spot on, your guesses. Well, thank you for sticking around. And I might see some of you on Monday. I've got the tour about George Chapman again on Monday night, so hopefully I'll see some of you there. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Tish. And if any of you want to leave me a little tip, thank you very much in advance. You know, I don't see them live, but you are very much appreciated. And thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Janie. And hopefully I'll see some of you on Monday. And I've also got 2 videos coming up soon. I need to do the editing. It takes a lot of time. But I've got a video of Riga in Latvia and one of Vilnius in Lithuania coming up quite soon. So keep an eye on my channel. And oh, thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. And have a good evening, a good morning, whatever time it is for you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.